Plants and vegetation are both affected by a variety of environmental factors. Humidity, geographical location, precipitation, and pollution all can affect the biodiversity of plants in a given area. Tropical forests near the equator are known for their large amounts of biodiversity. Areas like Tampa, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands are humid and wet environments. These regions experience frequent hurricanes and storms. Areas like San Francisco, Yosemite National Park, and Beijing lack precipitation and have become dry and arid environments. The most abundant plant type in a given region is normally the most well-adapted organism. Plants in Florida and Jamaica have adapted to the moist environments, while plants in California and Beijing have adapted to the dry environments. Of the 3 types of photosynthetic pathways that plants can utilize, C3 is the most common. The stomata is open during the day for these plants. C4 plants are more common in hotter environments. They open their stomata at night to avoid water loss. CAM plants are like C4 plants in that they are common in hotter environments. These plants have their stomata partly open and closed. Following the renowned scientific method, we began with a problem. How do weather and pollution affect the biodiversity of plants in a given area? We hypothesized that a typically humid environment that experiences regular precipitation will hold a higher population of C3 plants. In arid and dry environments that experience heavy pollution, there will be a greater number of C4 and CAM plants. We both traveled to various different places over the summer, so to carry out our experiment, we recorded the humidity, temperature, and precipitation of these locations, as well as the plant varieties of these areas. As for environmental notes, we decided to observe the following factors: plant abundance, human population and density, air quality index or AQI, and UV index. In all, we observed 6 locations, starting with Madison, New Jersey from August 10th to August 17th. For the month of August, Madison had an average AQI of 65, which is moderate. AQIs between 0 and 50 are considered good, between 50 and 100 is considered moderate, and between 101 and 150 is dangerous for inhabitants of that given area. During the month of August, Madison had an average temperature range of 59 degrees Fahrenheit to 92 degrees Fahrenheit, an average monthly humidity of 76%, an average UV index of 8, and an average yearly precipitation of 50.44 inches. We found that some of the most common plants in Madison were the silver maple, forsythia, and holly shrub. These plants are common in northern North America and are suited for temperate regions. All 3 are C3 plants. Tampa, Florida had an average monthly AQI of 46. Its temperature ranged from 76 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Its monthly average humidity was 78%. Its average UV index was 8, and its average yearly precipitation is 46.3 inches. There was a great variety of plants in Tampa, including Spanish moss, a CAM plant, the southern live oak, a C4 plant, and the slash pine, also a C4 plant. Spanish moss and the southern live oak tree are both adapted to withstand hurricanes, while the slash pine is able to thrive even in very humid conditions. Beijing's average AQI for August was 53. Its temperature ranged from 64 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Its average monthly humidity was 77%, its average UV index was 6, and it has an average yearly precipitation of 22.7 inches. The most common plants found in Beijing were the poplar tree, the weeping willow, bamboo, and the ginkgo tree. All 4 of these plants utilize the C3 photosynthetic pathway. In Falmouth, Jamaica, the average monthly AQI was 40. Its temperature ranged from 78 degrees Fahrenheit to 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Its average monthly humidity was 85%, its average UV index was 10, and it had an average yearly precipitation of 43.7 inches. In this region, we found that the 2 most common plants were golden bamboo, which is a C3 plant, and red mangrove, which uses C4 photosynthesis. Both plants are well adapted to the high temperatures and high UV index of Falmouth. Georgetown, Grand Cayman had a moderate monthly AQI of 66. It also has a temperature range of 79 degrees Fahrenheit to 91 degrees Fahrenheit, an average monthly humidity of 77%, average UV index of 9, and an average yearly precipitation of 48.03 inches. The 2 most abundant plant species were the beached alpaca, using C3 photosynthesis, and the logwood tree, a C4 shrub. These 2 plants are well suited for humid and wet areas. Finally, Yosemite National Park and San Francisco had some of the greatest variety of plants. With an average AQI of 39, the Yosemite region had a temperature range of 59 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, an average monthly humidity of 87%, an average UV index of 9, and an average yearly precipitation of 23.64 inches. The sugar pine, incense cedar, and giant sequoia trees all utilize C3 photosynthesis. The Echeveria secunda, a succulent plant, uses the CAM photosynthetic pathway, and the daisy is a C4 plant. These plants have all adapted to the lack of rainfall in the area and high UV index. We concluded that the environmental factors of a certain region, including humidity, average temperature, AQI, UV index, and average precipitation, all play a part in the biodiversity of said region. It was found that regions with a high level of precipitation and moderate AQIs had less variety in its plant species, while regions with less rainfall and higher UV indexes were very biodiverse. Though regions like California experienced less rainfall, this meant that plants were more adapted to dry weather, thus yielding an abundant variety of C3, C4, and CAM plants. In regions like Tampa, Florida, plants were adapted to the humidity of the area as well as hurricanes, which are frequent along the coast. When plants are faced with extreme conditions, they are able to adapt to survive in those extremes. While one may think that an area with high levels of rainfall and a temperate climate would produce the most biodiversity, it was found that regions experiencing many extremes in weather had the most plant biodiversity.